When I look back at that summer, I can still feel the weight of the air in our house. It was heavy, like something unsaid was always pressing against the walls, waiting to break free. My name is Caroline Mitchell, and I've lived most of my life in a small town in Ohio. My husband, David, and I built what seemed like a steady life together, the kind of life that looked ordinary from the outside: Sunday dinners, family gatherings, and barbecues in the backyard. But inside that ordinary life, secrets had a way of slipping through the cracks. The story began when my sister Rebecca's son, Jason, came to stay with us for the summer. Jason was 20, caught in that strange place between being a boy and becoming a man. His parents were going through a messy divorce, and Rebecca thought some time away from the chaos would do him good. David and I had no children of our own, so our home was often quiet. When Jason arrived with his duffel bag slung over his shoulder and a hesitant smile on his face, I welcomed him like I would my own. At first, it was simple. Jason helped around the house, mowing the lawn, fixing the squeaky porch door, and even painting the fence that David had been putting off for years. In the evenings, we'd sit around the dinner table, and Jason would talk about his college classes, his friends, and his dreams. He had a certain charm, earnest, open, almost too trusting. But slowly, I noticed things. Small things at first. A shift in the way David looked at his phone, the way he'd step outside to take calls late at night, his excuses about working overtime when I knew his company was downsizing. It gnawed at me, the feeling that something wasn't right. One evening, as I was folding laundry in the living room, Jason walked in holding his laptop. His face was pale, his jaw tight. "Aunt Caroline," he said, hesitating. "Can I show you something?" I looked up from the towels, sensing the weight in his voice. "Of course. What's wrong?" He set the laptop on the coffee table and opened it. My breath caught when I saw the screen. There were emails, messages, and photographs. David with another woman. Smiling, holding her hand, standing far too close in places he had told me he'd never been. For a moment, I couldn't speak. The room felt too small, the air too thick. I closed the laptop, my hands trembling. "Where did you find this?" I whispered. Jason's eyes softened. "I didn't mean to snoop. I was trying to fix the Wi-Fi settings on Uncle David's tablet. These synced automatically. I thought you should know." The truth was there in front of me, undeniable. My husband had betrayed me. The man I had trusted for years had built another life behind my back. Over the next few days, I moved through the house like a ghost. Every smile David gave me felt like a knife twisting in my chest. I wanted to scream, to confront him, to demand answers, but fear kept me silent. What if I wasn't ready to hear the truth? What if hearing it would shatter everything I had built? Jason, though, didn't look at me with pity. He looked at me with understanding. He had seen betrayal before. His own parents' marriage falling apart had left scars on him. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, he found me on the porch, my eyes wet from silent tears. "You don't deserve this," he said quietly. "You deserve honesty, respect." His words cracked something inside me. For the first time, I felt seen. Not as David's wife, not as Rebecca's sister, but as Caroline, a woman who had been wounded but was still standing. That night, I made a decision. I would not live in silence. The confrontation came 2 nights later. David walked in from work, loosening his tie, his face lighting up when he saw me in the kitchen. "Smells good, honey," he said casually, as if everything was fine. I turned to him, my heart pounding. "David, we need to talk." The color drained from his face. Maybe he already knew. Maybe he could see it in my eyes. I laid the laptop on the counter and opened it. The picture stared back at him, undeniable evidence of his betrayal. For a long moment he said nothing. Then he sighed, ran a hand through his hair, and muttered, "Caroline, it's not what you think." I laughed bitterly. "Don't insult me. I know exactly what this is." The argument stretched late into the night. Words flew like arrows, accusations, excuses, pleas. He admitted to the affair but swore it didn't mean anything. He begged me to understand, to forgive, to give him another chance. But something had shifted in me. I could forgive mistakes, but not the deliberate tearing apart of trust. Not the months of lies. In the days that followed, the house was thick with tension. David tried to act normal, but the silence between us was louder than any words. Jason noticed it too, and though he didn't say much, his presence was steady, grounding me when I felt like I might fall apart. One afternoon, while David was at work, I sat on the back steps with Jason. The summer air was heavy, the cicadas buzzing in the trees. "You saved me," I told him quietly. He looked at me, confused. "I didn't do anything." "Yes, you did. If you hadn't shown me the truth, I might still be living in the dark. You gave me back my dignity." Jason didn't know how to respond. He just gave me a small, sad smile, and in that moment, I realized how much pain he carried too. His own family had crumbled, and now he had been caught in the middle of mine. By the end of that summer, I knew I couldn't stay in my marriage. The betrayal was too deep, the wound too raw. I filed for separation, and while David tried to fight it, I stood firm. For once, I wasn't afraid of being alone. Jason returned to college in the fall, and though we didn't speak about it again, we both knew that summer had changed us. It had shown us the ugliness of betrayal, but also the strength of resilience. Years later, when people ask me why I left my husband after so many years, I don't tell them the full story. I simply say, because I finally saw the truth. And sometimes, that's all that needs to be said. But in my heart, I know the truth was handed to me by someone who cared enough to reveal it, even when it hurt. My nephew's courage gave me the strength to walk away, and in doing so, I found myself again. That summer taught me that infidelity doesn't just break marriages, it reshapes lives. And while the scars remain, so does the knowledge that I am stronger than the secrets that once tried to silence me.